All right, so welcome everybody. Beautiful to be with you here today on a Friday, first Friday of February. All kinds of F's. So where we begin with this work, so welcome to this meditation, is first, I'm going to take a look at something that's been disturbing us. I know sometimes that question is so big. So much has been disturbing us. And very helpful because there can be so much where we get snagged. It's just to notice a place where you feel it within. Just sit with yourself. And you might know, maybe you came on this call thinking, I know exactly what I'm going to do the work on today. But if you don't know, just see what makes you feel disturbed, anxious, afraid, sad, disappointed. And then you'll know, maybe it's that relationship or that circumstance. But I love how one thing we get to do in the work is narrow it down. Just even to taking a look at one situation, like a moment in time, an experience, a memory that was maybe where the emotion, the feeling gets really heightened. It's the minute we learned something, the moment we're reading that email, the minute we have a storm and find out the tree fell. Just watching and seeing that moment, or when the person's saying those words. So any situation works, no matter how much it seems like not much is going on in that moment, or a lot is happening there, a lot of activity. And I like to think of it as we're watching a movie of life. There's so much in it, so much, but we're gonna just pause the movie in this moment. It's almost like we're got a little needle where we're getting exactly, we don't have to be exact, but we're just finding that moment. And it's okay, always. People often ask, what if I can't find one specific situation, or it's a whole composite? I'm kind of looking at the whole entire relationship or seeing the whole, that's okay too. No wrong way to do it. No wrong way to do it. So simply noticing where you are, like see that person or the situation that you see before you that you feel like is really troubling, that's causing this experience to happen, the emotion. And just take a look. And it's okay wherever you go. Sometimes there's the questions, is this the right thing to do the work on? Do I have the right moment? This is only a little part of what I'm nervous about in the world. Mind just busy. If you have a mind like mine. And just let yourself land on one situation, pushing that pause button on the movie. We're going to take a look at that. There's that person, there's that situation. It's disturbing. And really see where it is, what's happening. Take a look around. It's just like slowing down, taking a look at it before we write. I'm looking at a piece of paper with my bank account balance. I remember that one. All right, just be steady right there for a moment. Seeing the time of day and the room and the environment, if anyone else is there, just being with that for a moment. There's that disturbance, that feeling, I don't like it. Scared. Now can begin to get ready to write. So whatever you're on your device or pen and paper, I am upset, and if you like, you can name the feeling. We won't question your feeling, not at this point. I'm upset with this situation, maybe the name of the person. Just see what it is that you're most concerned with, what you're looking at. Upset with this because, and then write down why. Why am I upset? In the most simple way that you can. And no wrong way to do it. I love that Byron Katie says this is listening. We're listening. So unedited. Okay. Number 2. For those just arriving, we're just starting in on the Judge Your Neighbor worksheet. Step 1, identify the thinking. And that first one too, what do I oppose here? What's the crime? What do I not like? I'm upset because I can see my son telling me, Mom, I think I'm depressed. Just hold that. I'm upset because my son is telling me he's depressed. Okay. Number 2, how do you want what you're looking at to change? How do you want this person to change? And listen, let yourself be very unedited here. This is what I want. It's okay if it feels like you're having a tantrum, pounding your fist on the table. How do you want them to change? What do you want them to do? Anything that comes to mind. What do you want the thing you're looking at to do? And it's happened. What do you want it to do? Them to do? So writing down, I want as simple as you can, unedited. I like thinking of number 2 here as remembering it's okay to be childish, have a tantrum, embarrassing, just honest, listening. If any of you ever have questions during this, even this part, it's okay to raise your hand or come off mute and ask. How do you want that to change? Yeah, totally.
Hey, Grace, good morning from Boston.
Good morning.
How do I write it when it's something I'm upset about forthcoming? It's a call I'm supposed to have, so it's not in the past.
Oh, that's a great question. Yeah, I like holding those as if it's happening, because I'm seeing it so much like as if it's happening. And here's what you kind of have the fearful way that it might be going, but this is what I want. Just go ahead. Yes. Good question. Yeah. Sometimes, every so often, if it's a strong I don't want, it's okay to have that there. This is what I want. Okay. Number 3, the question is, what advice would you give? What advice would you give this person? And it's especially, or whatever it is you're looking at, especially so that they can do what you want. Like, what advice would you give so that the thing you want to have happen, what you want them to do, could happen? So using should, shouldn't, just about always with our advice. It should, she should, he shouldn't. Let's notice what would support them being that way you want. Hello to those just arriving. We're at the very beginning, just writing a Judge Your Neighbor worksheet. Just capturing the thoughts on paper. Okay, number 4. Same situation, just being there. What is it that you need in order to be happy? Astonishing. Like, sometimes that we're not even thinking about happiness. We just want to get through it, survive, have it be okay. But I love letting ourselves think this, like, what would be happiness in this situation? What could kind of change it, switch it all, make everything, oh, it's okay. So we're not undoing what happened. We're just seeing what could create happiness for me now. So, what do I need from the person in order to actually experience happiness in this moment? Maybe it's like just a really peaceful, quiet, calm happiness, or enthusiasm, joyful, excited kind of happiness. Just see where your mind travels. In order for me to be happy in this situation, relaxed. Yeah, Atul. Hang on, let me make sure you're unmuted. You might have to unmute your. There you go.
Sorry, this one question, as you know, I'm kind of relatively early in my work journey. I confused with the want question too.
Yeah, yeah.
I think I got it the way you said it this time for the first time. So I wanted to make sure I check with you. So the want was about reversing the original situation I'm upset about in question 1. And
Yeah,
then the
yes.
need was, how could I make something really positive out of this interaction? Is that the distinction? Because I often end up rewriting the same stuff.
Yeah, and I love you notice that. I know mine at the very beginning, it'd be like, I'm upset because he's so loud. I want him to be quiet. He should be quiet. I need him to be quiet. you know, um, yeah, I really like thinking then, what could this person do? How could they think, feel, be, so that it's sort of like fixed or adjusted, or it's like, something about what's going on over there has caused me pain, or what I've seen, what I've observed. Doesn't even have to be a person. So what would like shift it so now I actually experience happiness instead? And it can be lovely to give yourself the detail of it. Like,
Mm.
notice if I spend time here, if they said, oh, I didn't really mean that. Here's exactly where I'm coming from. This is what I did. Like you just hear exactly how it would be. That's very sweet. It's like you're just giving yourself the imagined thing that you believe you need to get to reach happiness, which is different than like, here's what I want. They have to change.
Yeah, for me, what comes up is actually the excitement of a possibility of something that is like if I had to create something in that situation in terms of not undoing, but a new possibility that would take this experience to the next level.
Yes.
I find that shifts my energy internally from excitement to what's possible,
I like,
imagined possible,
yeah.
to resistance, what am I opposing, and I wish they didn't do it. That kind of the intent of this question for?
Yes. I mean, it just can be so beautiful to see what it is. It's like you're giving yourself a prescription in some ways. You're seeing, I know what it would take to reach happiness, or maybe even I'm not even quite sure, but let's take a look, because something certainly has brought me to unhappiness here,
Hmm,
So let's just see, what do I actually need?
that's
Yeah.
clear.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So number 5, and I'll say one more thing on that number 4. Um, it's okay if the thing, as you're writing it, I notice, here's what I believe I would need for happiness. And to have the mind start to chatter away and saying, well, that is actually impossible. Like, let's say you lost all your money. That happened to me once. I'm sitting on the couch and there's no money. It's all gone. What do I need in order to be happy? Wow. Your mind just travels to, I need to have like a sudden a knock on the door and I won the lottery or whatever, all these things. But it's wonderful to just sit there and let myself feel that, even though it's saying, well, that's impossible, that's not going to work, this isn't going to happen, but just to stay present with that for a while and really saying, it's required that this thing show up the way I see it in abundance for me to be happy, and all the different ways that might happen. Okay. Number 5, remember how you felt in number 1? Just looking at that situation, describe the person. And usually it's just one word at a time, very short phrase, like descriptive words with commas, like make a list. So they are, that is, terrifying, upsetting, selfish, whatever, however you describe it in your mind, what you're looking at. It just occurred to me at the beginning, it's like I'm looking at something in reality. So if you're just noticing lots of thoughts about yourself, or you thought, I'm going to do this judge your neighbor on myself, it can be very tricky. It's not impossible, but very tricky, because in some ways this is all about the conversation with reality, the people that we met, the things that happen, the occurrences. And that's where we get stuck. And of course, then it falls back on us and we think we did it wrong. But just to notice, I like remembering to say that at the beginning. They'll be in there too, stressful thoughts about the self. But it's nice to focus on what's outside of us that's causing the problem, that triggered the problem. So that situation is making a list. And then the very last question, what is it that you never want to experience again? If you had your way, I don't ever want. And this is just however it comes out. Love the mind likes to make this big. I don't ever want this to happen again. I don't ever want to experience, however you write it. Okay. So who would like to do the work? And what you'll do is, as we do on these first Fridays, you read your Judge Your Neighbor worksheet. Just read what you wrote. Have a brief context, but brief. Just notice that sometimes we have a whole story about it. That's okay. That's what we're looking at. And you just read what you wrote, and then we will move into the work. And I love it that maybe one person's doing the work, but you might still get so much from it. All right, thank you. I am taking you off mute, L. Robbins. Or you might need to take yourself. There you go.
There we go. Hi.
Hello, thank you.
Thank you. This is my first time, so do I just dive right in?
Yeah, dive right in. Thank you for being here. I love it.
Thank you. I'm upset with my husband because he can't grow up.
Awesome. Okay. Read more. Read everything you wrote, and then we'll come back.
I'm upset that everything I wrote.
Yeah, and then I want. He should.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I'm upset with my husband because he can't grow up. How do I want him to change? I want him to be a happy, powerful man who has himself to give me.
Beautiful.
What advice would I give the person so this can happen? Heal the past, be brave and loving, read a book, learn new skills, grow, develop, don't stay stuck, step into your grown-up self, be the man. Sorry.
So
I know you are. What do I need to be happy? An environment where we're building and growing and working toward a common goal. Adding his talents that can add to my life. Bring his open, fun, creative self where we are enjoying each other's perspective and goals and mind.
beautiful.
List of what he is in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
He's angry, he's hurt, he's damaged, he's hurtful, he's guarded, he's on the offense, on the defense, childish, judgmental, and mean. I don't ever want to experience wasting time being angry and hurt over nothing again.
Wonderful worksheet. Thank you. Thanks for your honesty. All right. So What was the number one again?
I'm upset with my husband because he can't grow up.
All right, everybody. So everyone find where you've had that thought about somebody as you follow. So she'll answer the questions, but you can really answer it for yourself in however way you'd say it. They can't grow up. Just, maybe your wording is slightly different. They're immature. Like, look at this, whatever. Just the same sentiment. You can use this time like meditation, even though she's answering the questions on her situation. We find our own. Maybe it even fits with what you wrote today. Okay. All right. So he can't grow up. Is that true?
That's what he tells me.
Mm.
And so I'm struggling between what I believe is true, which everyone can grow up and everyone can change and everyone can heal. But then I think, well, who am I to say what he can and can't do? He's saying to me he can't change and that he can't, in his words, he wants to keep his baggage from the past because he feels like it keeps him safe. And so I struggle between, is it true? Because I don't believe it's true that someone can't grow up, but he's saying he can't grow up.
I love it's that you get to have your answer. Like you just notice the yes inside your heart. I mean, like he can't grow up. That can't be true. Like he won't grow up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I tell him. I said, this is a choice.
Yeah.
It's not that you're genetically predisposed to be miserable and stuck. Everyone has the potential for growth and change. But then I think, why am I believing for him?
I mean, it's a great question. Why am I believing for him? I mean, you're a listener, and he's saying, no, I can't. Good to notice that you don't believe it, but it's stressful. Like in a way, there's a right under there is, and he should. He's saying he can't, but he should. I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
So just see with it, is it absolutely true that he should grow up, he should change, that he won't, he's refusing, like that it's possible for him to grow up. See if that's absolutely true.
Will you repeat that? Is it absolutely true
that it's possible for him to grow up?
It's absolutely true that it's possible for him to grow up. Is
that true? He can grow up. That's what I believe, and I'm upset because he's not doing it.
Right.
Can I absolutely know it's true? He can grow up.
Oh.
Can you absolutely know? You can feel it as such a yes, like, yeah, I believe everyone can.
Yeah, it's fundamental core beliefs that I have that are in question, and it's really stressful.
Yeah. And, I like noticing maybe it's a core belief you have, and it's okay. You don't have to throw it away. Yeah. Yes, he can grow up. He's saying he can't, but I believe it's true.
I don't want to give up my belief that humans can evolve. I think that's the core of my creativity and the core of my belief in humanity. I don't want the person I love the most. I don't want to be convinced that that's just not true for him.
Yeah. So that's okay. I like noticing whatever that just can't be possible, or it feels too disappointing to not have that thought. And it's okay. Just like, yes, I believe it's possible to evolve. He's not evolving.
Right.
Yeah. And just see if you can absolutely know it's true. I know it's just finding he can't grow up. I'm against this, and I really believe it's true that he can. Well, let's just keep going. What happens when you think this thought? He's telling you he can't. What happens when you believe he can't grow up? He won't grow up. What happens? How do you react?
When I believe that he can't grow up?
Yeah.
So I'm faced with a choice that I don't want to make because it feels impossible to live with someone and accomplish adult things with someone who's throwing childish tantrums every day.
Hmm.
And I just think I can't live my life in this tantrum angry space. I can't do what I want to do with this energy around me, with this anger around me, with this demon that is not mine. Like, he's got this stuff that he says he's carrying around, and it's in my environment but out of my control.
Hmm. Hmm. How do you
Go ahead.
how do you treat him when you're believing that? Look at that. He's not growing up.
I usually turn into like a coach and I say, you're choosing this behavior. I'm right here. I'm with you. I'm trying to understand. You don't have to indulge in the anger and the hurt and the resentment. You can just love, if that's, because he'll say, I wish that we were soulmates because then it would be easier to love you. And I'd say, well, then make me your soulmate. That's what makes the difference. Love me like you'd love a soulmate, and therefore I will be the soulmate. You're the only one standing in your own way. And I turn into a coach, which doesn't help the situation because then he just feels more resentful. Like, of course she thinks she knows everything. Which further reiterates his belief that he's incapable.
Good to notice. I try to convince, and you just feel it in the body, there he is over there being that way, and I'm doing everything I can. I give it everything I've got to get him to be different. Yeah. Yes.
Well, you're so good.
Well, I can relate. Same mind. No new thoughts.
Yeah, there's just so much energy that goes into it. And like my last thing that I put on the worksheet, I just don't want to waste this time. Like, is it a waste of time? Is it the best use of time? I don't know.
So it's good to notice. Okay, I give him everything I've got. I try to convince, and I also have images of just deciding to be out of this relationship. I'm out. Yeah. That's what would make it easier. Just go. Yeah. And just notice how you treat yourself. Like, how do you think of yourself being in the middle of this? What do you say about you? Maybe you're the one who isn't affecting change. But just see, here I am with this person. How do you think of yourself in the situation with him?
I think of myself like, when a mom sees a child like about to get hit by a car and all of a sudden they get this burst of energy and they save the child from the car wreck. I feel like I live in a heightened state of rescue.
Yeah. Wow. Stressful for sure. But yeah.
I can feel it like depleting my body.
Yeah.
Like, I just have to perform all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I can't let him fall. I can't let him fall. for my kid's sake, for his sake, as a friend. But then I think this is not a good partnership.
Mm-hmm.
It's not sustainable.
Mm-hmm. What kind of images do you see that falling that can happen? What do you picture?
Ooh.
Like, what are you afraid of here?
Yeah, I've probably over dramatized it, right? Like,
Sometimes you do. Yeah.
yeah. Like, what's the worst that can happen? He can just be miserable as he says he is, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Why do I don't have to be miserable too.
Well, it's good to notice. And it's still, this person you care about so much, you picture them being miserable for the rest of their lives. It's an image
Yeah.
where this is going.
But that would be the worst case scenario. And I actually don't think he would be miserable all the time.
Uh-huh. Good to notice.
He finds his own ways to be happy, and his own ways that he will figure out what works for him and what doesn't work for him.
Mm-hmm.
Him living with me, I think, as he has said, adds stress, because I think underlying, I really do see his way as childish.
Hmm.
But
Well,
maybe he'd be happy if I wasn't standing there judging his way.
no, very good to notice, with compassion for yourself. This work isn't about hitting yourself with what you've been doing wrong, but good to notice. He's with somebody who's constantly thinking about how he can change. You know what I mean? Like you just said.
Yeah. And I think he has so many wonderful attributes that I love about him, and I want to enjoy all of that. So I'm trying to get to the space where the times that he's throwing things and screaming and doing all of that, I can get to a space where I'm like, if I love all of him and I choose to be with him, how can I stay out of, rescue him, coach him, make him want to change this thing? It just feels so damaging and so awful.
Mm. Well, let's just see. Here's how you do it. I love question 4. So there he is at his height he's doing what he's doing that you're seeing, that situation.
Yeah.
Very interesting. It doesn't mean we have to condone it or say, this is great, I hope it keeps going forever. But who would you be without the thought, this must change? He can't grow up. Look, here's my evidence. Who would you be just without the thought, just looking at it, just being there in that moment without the thought? He can't grow up, has to change.
I have had moments where I've turned it around and I've thought, so grateful that he lives out loud. He's not holding back. He's real. He's not putting on pretenses. He's showing up 100% out loud.
Mm.
And when I'm in that moment, I can find some safety and relief a little bit, because lots of people feel angry and childish, but maybe they hold it in. And so I've tried to think, I love that I get to see him live his life and that he can live it out loud. And I just get to witness it.
Wow. Uh-huh.
And I've had moments where I found a lot of relief. I think so I've kind of found peace when it's unrelated to me. So when he's going about the house, raging about this or that, I can be like, he's living out loud, it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But then the anger will turn towards me
Mm.
And he'll say, you left the cup out on the counter. You disrespect me by doing that. It will go from I left the cup out on the counter to we should get a divorce. I'm calling a lawyer right now. You deserve nothing, you pathetic, wilting, powerless bitch.
Mm.
From leaving a cup out on the counter.
Mm.
And then I think this is unworkable.
Mm-hmm. And that's really interesting to just hold that, like be right there and just notice how the mind kind of like turns back to it. But I have the thought, this is terrible. I can't.
Right.
Watching right there where it's directed right at you, because that's the height of the fear.
Yeah.
Right. He is yelling at you.
Yeah.
And just be with that scene and without the thought, he can't grow up. This has to change. Just letting it be there for a moment, just looking. Look at him doing that and just see what you see. Almost like you're sometimes think of it like a scientist, kind of studying what is going on here. Wow.
I see a little boy who's trying to defend himself,
Mm. Mm.
protect himself.
Mm. Yeah. Okay. So,
But I think that gets me in trouble. I should see a grown man who's choosing to indulge his emotions.
hmm.
What I see is a little boy who's trying to protect himself, and I become the mother who's trying to rescue him.
Hmm.
Instead of saying he's a grown man who's choosing to do this.
And you can hold so with the thought, you just notice there he is, little boy, somebody having a tantrum, can't grow up. Without the thought, no rescuing happening. Just letting it be right there the way it is, just watching.
Okay.
It's like I'm just setting that down for a moment, that anything needs to happen, anything's required here. Just looking at somebody very upset and going to, high emotion, youthful looking, or whatever that is when we say childish impulse. And no need to rescue, just letting it be there, just looking. It is interesting, just holding that, just there they are. It's okay. Like just being in a way okay, without the thought, without having a thought about it. It's just happening. It's okay to not know what to do. Scared
Ooh, I
person.
like I like that. It's okay just to stand there, not to know.
Yeah. Because with the thought that this has to, with the thought, it has to change, then of course I need to rescue, I need to figure it out, I need to do something and to say the right thing. Without that thought, more
I like that a lot because I do go to, I should know what to do. I should know what to think about this. I should know. I should know this is okay. I should know this isn't okay.
Mm-hmm.
I should know what to do. And I just honestly don't know what to do.
Yeah. 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 And just to let that be okay can be such a rest in a way. I think so. The mind doesn't like it. It likes knowing.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, I don't know. I don't know. Just letting ourselves pause without the thought, just being there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's a lot of relief.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's turn it around. All right. So he can't grow up. I can't. And this is never done with a sense of attack. I mean, sometimes people will ask me, like, I don't like it because I get to the turnarounds and I feel worse. It's just noticing I actually don't know what to do here. I might feel like a child. I don't know.
Yeah,
You know?
I do judge it. Like, I feel like I'm living in an alternate universe. Like I'm living in a childish playground where we have tantrums and I feel stuck. Like I can't grow up. I can't have a mature environment in my home.
Mm-hmm.
I'm standing in that moment feeling I cannot move past childish things that my brain does not want to think about. I want to think about growing up and doing all the things grown-ups get to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like love and create and all the childish emotions of anger and all of that just feel like I cannot grow up.
Yeah. Isn't that powerful? Because in a way you can actually wonder about that. Can I absolutely know that's true, that I could not experience love? I know it's strange. Somebody's yelling at you and calling you a bitch, like that, all this. Am I absolutely know it's true? That's totally impossible in this moment. Just noticing that childish, and I mean that in the best way. Like, what do we have? We feel like little children that are can't do anything about this. But it's noticing too the relief when you have no thought that I am supposed to know what to do here. It's just wow. I can't grow up. I don't know. I just don't know. Lots of emotion happening. I'm not finding a good answer, but I'm believing, love can't be present here. Impossible. That might be a good thing to question. Just staying. I'm mad at myself because I'm not finding answers. I should have the right words. I need to say the right thing and all that pressure.
Yeah.
So, and I don't have it, and I start being very upset with myself. Kind of the same. I can't grow up, especially when it comes to him in this moment and yelling and somebody's super upset.
Yeah, I've toyed with the idea that and this is another, just like he's living out loud. It's like, oh yay, he's living out loud. Oh shit, he's living out loud.
Uh-huh.
And then the other part of this is, oh, I can't grow up. I can't focus on the things I want to focus on. And then I go to, this could be the ultimate grow up. Like this could be the biggest potential for my growth.
Could be. These places that the volume is very turned up on the emotions can be the most amazing pockets for transformation possible. I found that to be true. It's like, well, there it is. I feel all this intensity.
Yeah.
Let's find another turnaround. So I can't, or at least I'm believing I can't grow up in this moment. I'm not finding answers and I'm upset about it. So another turnaround, he can. Could that be true? This thing called growing up that I'm thinking growing up is, could it be true that he is doing that? And it's not like it has to be genuine. It can be very small if it's very small. Like, I don't know. Just,
Um, the fact that he said, I carry around all this baggage because I feel like it keeps me safe is one of the probably one of the first times he's had um, the courage to say something with such awareness.
well,
Most of the time he does not say much about himself
mhm,
in a kind of self-reflective way.
mhm.
He usually is, I'm angry, this is terrible. And when he said, I'm carrying around this baggage because I think it protects myself, I did think, wow, that was deep.
Mhm. Good example. It's an example. Yeah. Sometimes it can be you see like a little smile, like it doesn't have to be a huge giant turn, like there they are, and you're looking at it even in the moment, screaming and yelling. He can grow up, like just noticing that it ends, like something's bursting through. He's not laying on the floor actually having a tantrum like the way little kids do, like with their fists, um, and staying there. And no, just whatever you can find. It's just interesting, helpful. You've got an example.
Yeah, it's interesting that you said laying on the floor with his fists.
Mm-hmm.
He actually stood up against a wall and was pounding his fists on the wall last week. And it was like the physical epitome of a tantrum.
Yes.
I was witnessing it, and then he turned around and he was waving his arms in the air and he goes, "Look at me, I'm a big scary building." What? And I just sat there witnessing this, like, this is my spouse?
Mm.
What?
Mm. Mm.
I mean, physical manifestations of a toddler tantrum.
Yeah.
It's so painful.
Mm. Yeah.
Like, he gives these little nuggets, of belief that yes, he can grow up, and then he does. And so it's confusing. It's like, I don't want to find the nuggets because then it keeps hope.
Yeah.
I'd rather him not just have those, that moment, because then I latch onto it like, okay, the big scary building and this on the wall weren't really him, right? His fear just took over, and who he truly is the man that has some self-reflection. But I just feel kind of foolish.
I like noticing that it ends. It always ends. Like we'll think the person's like this all the time, but then they're done and they're actually speaking, and that's somewhat creative to be able to say that in the moment. I mean, it's just what we're expecting. What is a grown-up? Is it somebody who never, ever, ever gets angry? That's interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, good luck, It's like,
Yeah.
so in a way, you could also say he can't grow up. Yahoo! Now, everyone knows this doesn't always apply to an inquiry, but sometimes there's the Yahoo turnaround. Like, could there be some benefits for that this is happening in this moment?
I think that's where I've kind of thought, there's a lot of people that put on the facade of being an adult, but inside, they are angry. And that's why I felt somewhat safe that he at least lives out loud.
Yeah.
And that he doesn't hold back, and that he shares exactly how he's feeling with me.
That's amazing. Not everybody has that. It's true. You know exactly where you stand. And which is actually kind of a grown-up thing.
Wow. Ooh.
There's no games. It's just
Yeah.
right out there in the open.
Yeah. But what if the thing he's out loud about, like, what do we do then? You know, like he'll say, I want to get a divorce.
Mm-hmm.
You don't respect me. You left I mean, I can't even believe I'm saying it. You left the water bottle out. You don't respect me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't, like you said, I guess I just have to sit there not knowing what to say. I
Yeah.
don't even know what to say to that.
Sometimes like if we don't have this reaction, like a huge no that comes out inside, like,
Yeah.
whoa, defense,
Yeah.
that, then how interesting. I'm having this moment. I'm having this moment where somebody's yelling, you don't respect me, but could that be true? I mean, based on what you're saying, it's like he's saying, the way he doesn't cover anything up, like
Yeah.
without that self-criticism on it, but it's just like, well, he's right. I don't respect him. I'm trying to get him to, I don't like this.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I'm always trying to get it to change.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's good
And
to know.
he feels that.
Mhm. Yeah. He's feeling it.
Yeah. I think he probably doesn't like it about himself, and he also knows, and she doesn't like it either.
Yeah.
I mean, I tell him so many times all the things that I appreciate about him,
Mm-hmm.
and every, win, and even when he was really, he got really upset 2 weeks ago, and he was screaming and yelling, and we just went to bed, and the next morning he came and he said, this was another example of him kind of growing up. He said, I have all this anger and I don't know what to do. And I said, well, let me put my arms around you.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I said, we'll figure it out. Whatever you need. And like, that was a really beautiful moment. And then 2 days ago, he said, the other day when you put your arms around me, he said, he said something negative about it. I can't remember how he's just like, yeah, you'll put your arms around me then, but I don't know. He said something, and I just thought that was such a beautiful moment, where we connected. And that's okay. I can look at it one way and he can look at it another, but I don't know.
It's just good to notice. It's like that turnaround in a way. I just watching, here's this person, so significant, and that they are able to grow up. It's just holding this experience of this moment when I'm saying no, 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 yes, yes, and then they say something and I change my mind. Oh, maybe it's
Yes.
yeah.
Exactly right.
Notice maybe that's I can't grow up.
I can't grow up because I can't make my mind up.
Yeah.
I'm Mother Teresa and I'm F you, leave me alone.
Yeah. And
I go back and forth.
Yeah. Just watching that mind just jump around all over the place and finding a little rest if I just drop my own defenses. Like, you have this amazing person in your life that doesn't let anything, like, doesn't try to cover up anything, just says it. Just holding, if I have no defenses and I just let it let it be in the air, let it come through me, just be with it without that wanting to take like a tennis racket and bat it back or defend. Just like, wow, not comfortable, but
I just thought of another, like, I love that when it comes to me just being in the space of I don't know.
yes.
Because then I know that I don't know, versus I don't know if it's yes, I don't know if it's no, I don't know if I accept, I don't know if I don't accept. When it comes to my kids, and when he behaves this way with the kids, I'm much more definitive on what my role needs to be. And I'll say, that's not okay that you yell at the kids.
Mm.
And I'm very clear when it comes to that. And I do feel very, it's interesting that I find the boundary to be so clear with my kids. You cannot yell at the kids. But then with me, I sit in ambiguity. Oh, he can yell at me.
Mm-hmm.
That's what, an accepting, loving person does. Or no, he shouldn't yell at me. That's not a grown-up marriage. With the kids, I'm very much like, no, you can't yell at the kids, and I'll take the kids away. And then he'll come to me and yell at me afterwards. And I think I'll be yelled at so that they don't have to be.
Yeah. And this is about just noticing that moment with just you and him. And here's this thing called anger coming at you.
Yeah.
Am I okay? And it's okay not to know. And this is my work here is somehow growing up when it comes to anger. I'm giving myself my own, it's like if it's the most anything in this world you needed for your own growth, maybe it's this.
So should I be in that space when it comes to my kids? I don't know what to do. And they're going to have their own relationship with him and their own strengths that they can bring and that they will develop within that relationship with him. And they will figure out their own way to navigate it.
Yeah.
And probably creating a lot of tension by stepping in the middle and even planting the thought in their brain, mom is against dad. Mom is.
Well, it's okay. And in a way, that's it's like just shifting and looking at another situation and watching and watching and all the grand, that it'll say, this is that's going to keep happening forever. This is it's okay to know however it's gone is just right. It's okay. I'm just saying something about this. Somebody expressing anger the best way they know how. I'm learning too. I'm right here in the same place. So when I'm watching my moments with children, you can look back and see, sometimes that can be helpful to see, maybe I need to do a little work on my own learning about anger in my own childhood, but not to make it so complicated, just watching. I do what needs to happen. It's okay to think if something is very loud. It'd be great if it could not be so loud. It's fine. I don't have to just do the work and be completely passive and lay on the floor and say, great, let's just have yelling all the time. But I could be the one, you never know, that small thing that you found that seems small, but you noticed as a relief. I don't know what to do here. A storm is going on and I don't know what to do. And there's nothing to do in some ways.
I just had a huge moment when you said anger in my childhood. Whoa. So we had a lot of anger in my house. And my mom was really angry and would scream and yell and hit. And I was the oldest, and I always felt that it was my job to convince her that wasn't okay. And I remember feeling like I needed to be her mom. Like I remember being like, she's gonna learn. She's gonna grow up. She's gonna, like, I'm literally doing the same thing with my husband.
Yeah, isn't it? Yeah. If you sort of don't have it quite resolved over here, you're probably going to get it again.
Yeah. And so Like, I'm the one that's not growing up. I'm still behaving with people in my family who are angry and mean the same way I behaved with them when I was a kid.
Good powerful thing to notice. I mean, just powerful. Wow. It's like, wow, could there be something I'm missing here when it comes to rage, expression of rage and what's going on?
And of course, a child would never think I'm going to leave my mom because of this. The child thinks, this is my whole world. This is my life. This is everything. My mom is everything. We have to fix this. I have to stay with her. This is my family. And that's how I'm with my husband. I have to stay with him. I have to fix this. This is my family. This is what family does. No one in a family wants to behave this way towards people they love. No one would want this. No one would choose this. They're hurt. They're angry. As soon as they see how much I love them, they'll love me back.
And that's going to be that's the little part. It's just noticing which pieces are stressful. What is,
Yeah.
you know,
Notice.
right on just about any of it. And it's just noticing what is stressful. What is stressful? And would I want to learn to work with anger? I would, because that happens in the world. I want that lesson. I mean, you could say, okay, universe, reality, God, whatever, let's just take this out. I'll do the rest of life. But you will never learn the lessons that could be possible by learning to work with anger. Would you say, great, I'll take that choice. Take it out. Say, if this was my path to God, would I take it away? No.
Ooh.
And you know what your path to God is. It's what's happening. It's okay to notice so much frustration with not knowing how to deal with it. But doing this work is looking. You know, we want to get away and run or kill it or shut it down or figure out the right rescue. And none of that's worked. It's like, so just watching, just standing there with it, this thing called rage. Wow. Who knows where this work will go? So, and I love that one place that it goes is you just remembering your experience with your own mother. And I like how Katie says, mother, father, sister, brother. Do the work on those, or sometimes the current relationships are just repetitions of that.
Wow.
So beautiful work today, my dear.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That was really helpful.
Yeah. So comments from people. So just to, you're like, what did you learn? Did you notice something with yourself? Could you follow along the very same thing? Just anything to share by hearing this work. So you can raise your hand or pop yourself off mute and share. Yeah, Kate.
Hi. Well, that's interesting because all this week I've been playing with that Byron Katie quote of there's the husband of your imagination, and then there's the husband that you actually live with. And stop expecting that man you live with to be the one in your imagination.
Wow.
And I often think that the one that we put on paper, or what I've been playing with in my own inquiry, is that the one we put on paper is actually the one.
Mm-hmm.
And that I get sad because of course the one in my imagination shouldn't dismiss me.
Mm-hmm.
That guy would never
Mm-hmm.
dismiss me.
Sure.
But this guy actually does, And so, okay, I don't want him to dismiss me. Actually, that guy on paper, I want him to pass me by.
Ah, uh,
The one on paper, do I want that child man to be more powerful? No.
hmm,
That's why I react with fear or terror. That to me is
hmm,
the sane
hmm,
reaction to a child man having more power.
mhm. Yeah.
So the this thing that I've battled is denying what I see.
Mm, yeah. It's like just a huge no, 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 no.
No, that really can't be my husband. My husband is the sweet one who just doesn't know he's sweet, or who's sweet
Mm-hmm.
3% of the time, and I live for that 3%.
Mm,
And if he has 3%, then surely he has 100%. You know, um, but he shows me who he is,
mm-hmm. Yeah.
and he's living out loud. He's writing it on the wall, spelling it out for me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's me who doesn't see him.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
This is me. I'm dismissing him.
Yeah, I'm not seeing him. I see it when I slow my mind down and write it out on paper.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if I'm fighting what is, then I see the guy I married 30 years ago who wasn't depressed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Beautiful. And I love that the work can bring us the turnarounds, and when they click in and make sense. Like, so how would I not dismiss myself if I get myself out of his
That's
business?
right. Hmm.
I can live like, how would I not dismiss myself in this moment? Crush myself, rage at myself. What's How would I live if I didn't do that? Just let myself, so they don't have to change. It's going to be a lot of work if they have to. But how would I be here and yeah, be in their presence even without dismissing myself? That's a Yeah. Thank you, Kate. It's great. Yeah. All right. Anyone else want to share? Just anything, brief as you like. And if anyone's ready to do the work, more time. We still have time. All right. Yeah. Okay.
Well,
Kate.
I'll do the work if
Yeah.
um okay, yeah. So I have a pet peeve, and it's memes that come up on Facebook that tell me to be kind, or that love will save the world, or um,
Uh-huh.
instead of doing this, in quotes, terrible thing, do that terrible thing. So there was a meme that somebody posted and reposted and reposted, and it said, anger is a habit and can and should be stopped. Can be stopped and should be stopped. Um, just like smoking, something like that.
Yeah. All right. Cool. What was?
So,
Yeah.
I'm in this moment where I'm seeing this meme posted by, again, dealing with the fantasy person in my mind. Oh my God, I thought she was a lot smarter and tolerant than that. So um, anyway, so I am ballistic because CT posted a meme that says, anger is a habit, blah, blah, blah. In that moment, I want CT to take that meme down, to reevaluate it, and to use her own words and not repost.
Mm.
Of course, the irony is in my last comment to Brave L. Robbins,
Mhm.
I quoted Byron Katie. That's funny.
I know.
It's so sweet.
Yeah. Like, thank
Anyways, what suggestions, the shoulds? You should take down the meme CT. You should be original, not a parrot. What do I need to be happy? I don't know if I got that far. You know what? I changed happy to feel safe. Because I thought it's not, I sometimes look at that and look at what does that behavior threaten in me? Does it threaten my happiness or my safety? And I feel unsafe, you know. So for me to feel safe or happy around her, I need her to stop shouting at me from behind the meme. For me to feel safe, I need CT to stop her anger if it's her habit.
Mm-hmm.
For me to feel safe, I need CT to stop telling me what to do.
Mm.
Let's see. CT is judgmental, putting your energy in the wrong place, a coward hiding behind a meme, a dreamer of what this world should be. I don't ever want to experience anger from someone's behavior of posting a meme. I don't ever want people to tell me what to do, especially in a meme. I don't ever want people to define my emotions as a habit that can be stopped.
So great. So everybody just find where you can relate again, and interesting. It's the theme today. There's somebody, saying something. And then in this case, they're saying something about anger.
Yes.
So we'll do them, this will be a little less time, but everybody find how you want that person to stop. I want them to stop doing that. In this case, in Kate's case, I want them to stop yelling behind this meme, stop advising. I want them to stop doing that. You find your in your situation. Doesn't even have to be the thing that you wrote about. You want them to stop being that way. Right. Is it true? And everyone just see what your own answer is. And Kate, you can say it out loud. Is it true? I want her to stop.
No, just sitting here, I see how sweet and helpful she is.
And good to notice if you
So
say,
I don't want her to stop her sweetness and helpfulness. I find it quite helpful.
Mm-hmm. And even
Yeah.
in the meme moment, can you find that?
Oh, can you hang on a second?
Yeah.
I can't see, Danny.
So everybody just notice, it's like even in this specific situation, you need them to stop. So you can find you might like them in this other situation with their, I like the sweetness, I like that other part, but in this situation, I need them to stop. Is that absolutely true? Very interesting.
Well, it is right in that moment. Yes.
Hey, good to find your answer.
Mhm.
Find your answer. Just notice. Yeah, it's absolutely true. I love the answer because you get to find out what you are absolutely against. It's wonderful. So what happens when you believe I need her to stop that?
Well, I react. I go ballistic. So I have a strong physical, visceral gut, internal, the explosion happens. And no, it doesn't manifest externally. Or it didn't at that time.
Mhm.
I There's a lot of blah blah talk hours after the moment passes.
Good to notice. Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. So just watching, and some of you, Kate, you can see, what are you afraid of? Where is this going? What are the images that come to mind about what will happen when you want that person to stop? Just notices what images your mind is showing you.
Well, it kind of goes globalized into everyone and everything will be policing everyone and everything.
Mm.
And from something that is well intended becomes as constrictive. Kindness is good. Then suddenly kindness becomes the law. And then kindness becomes
Mm.
the the measuring stick and the scolding stick. You know, so
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So who would you be without the thought? She should stop that. Like just in that moment, if you could just drop the thought for a moment. Without the story.
Well, there's a feeling of acceptance and the dropping of the law of Kate, the rule of Kate.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah. Good to notice. Can be
Mm-hmm.
relief in that or some lightness.
Mm-hmm.
And even just all those future images, they're not there. They're just not happening.
Yes. Yeah. So
Yeah.
um
Oh.
and I see the kindness and the intention behind the posting of the meme and all of our collective efforts to decrease suffering and increase happiness.
Mm.
So I feel much safer.
Mm. Sweet to notice. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So turn it around. I need her to stop shouting at me. Stop doing that. I need me to stop shouting at myself.
Shouting at myself, and definitely I need me to stop shouting at her in my head
Mm-hmm. Yes. Lots
for
of
hours. For hours. That poor girl.
It's great to notice that it's such a, yeah, bam,
Yeah.
one knee,
Oh.
and then lots of memes.
Mhm.
Themes. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I need me to stop shouting at myself. I need me to stop shouting at this other person. I need me to
Mhm.
stop doing that to myself, to them.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, I need me to stop shouting at myself about them.
Ah, good one.
Mhm.
Hmm. And good, spending a little time in those turnarounds, everybody in your own situation. Am I doing this to me in my own head, with all the pictures that I have? In the presence of this person, I need to stop doing that to myself.
Mhm.
And I need to stop doing it to them. And I don't need her to stop doing this. How could that be?
No, I don't. She's living her life, and it's beautiful, and I get to see it.
And I even love, how is it a good thing or interesting, helpful, spicy, I don't know, something that it's happening? I mean, look what it didn't take much. It just took a meme, and it's really helpful for me to see something that I'm against, on
Mhm.
planet Earth.
It's
It's like,
helpful to see what a habit anger is,
yes, yes.
and how I reinforce the habit by hours of shouting afterwards.
Uh-huh. Yes, yes, yeah. And I love finding that, without self-condemnation. I don't hear any of that in you, but just like compassion for ourselves, like just noticing um, that lost feeling. And it's, I don't need them to stop. How fascinating, how interesting.
Mhm.
I'm even looping all the way back around from the first image I had at the beginning of this inquiry today. Like, my son says that he's depressed. He tells me he's depressed. I don't need him to stop saying that. How interesting. Doesn't mean
Mhm.
I hope he stays depressed forever. And it doesn't mean that.
No.
Like, just noticing, wow,
Mhm.
okay. And to let that be, like just being open to that. I don't need that. Any examples, just finding it. And I love, yeah, L. Robbins.
L. Robbins said something, but it went off too fast because what did L. Robbins say?
Your son, Meme Girl, and my husband are all living out loud.
They are.
Yes,
Yeah.
there it goes. What else? And don't we love that?
I get to be a witness and follow an example rather than staying. So I don't hide behind the meme. I hide behind my controlled, mature, enlightened, intelligent, thoughtful, kind self.
I love noticing, it's like a theme of anger here today. It's so interesting. And I love noticing the judgments I've had simply about the emotion of anger. Wrong, unenlightened, bad, childish. And these can be questioned because, I notice anger exists in reality.
Mm,
So if it's a friendly universe, why would anger be here?
mm-hmm.
What's the message? The little person on your phone, on my Android phone, when I say I'm going to send a text and I'm doing it by voice, this little lady's voice always says, what's the message? I hear that now in my head, like, what's the message of this?
Oh, there's definitely.
Yeah, it's definitely a good message because I've had my response and my reaction. So,
Hmm.
well, thank you, Kate. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So anything to add, anyone, like in this listening and being here? Just sharing anything briefly as we wrap up today? You can ask yourself, is there a living turnaround? But even just finding, letting it be slow, letting it percolate in there and just watching. Very sweet to be with you all. I'm just going to take everyone off mute for a moment to say goodbye. And yes, we appreciate you too.
Goodbye.
Everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Grace.
Yeah,
Thank you.
beautiful work. Thank you all. Take good care.
Thanks.
Lots of love.
Yeah, lots of love.
Yeah.
Over and out.